God's purpose for our lives will always involve our gifts, and sometimes those gifts can be hard to discern. That's the beautiful thing about family. They often see things we don't. For Scott, his story began as an intern, but through the love and encouragement of his church family, he found a passion to serve those who are often overlooked.
I was in my second year of residency within student ministry, and I couldn't do the residency again. So I was just trying to figure out where I was going to go next, and I met with Scott Crosby, who's the pastor of the Leadership Institute. There were some openings at other campuses within student ministry that I was like, okay, that's where God's leading me, to be in that space and to just love on students and disciple students. And then he was like, but Greg McDougall, who's the special needs director here, is actually looking for somebody to mentor them and disciple them and train them up to take over the ministry.
Like most people, I realize I'm not getting any younger. And I thought about a year and a half ago, what is the future of this ministry? So then I approached our Leadership Institute to see if there were anybody maybe there that we could pour into and kind of transition into the ministry.
After I met with Scott Crosby, to kind of talk about what special needs ministry would look like if I were to step into that role, I had a really close friend and mentor, Taylor Lehman, walk alongside me and help me discern that calling.
As we would serve students and hang out with students, I could tell like he naturally desired to love on and care for students who were like a little bit marginalized or on the outside, or kids who didn't necessarily fit in, and we would talk about that. I could tell that this burden and this passion was just growing in him for just people who are marginalized, a little bit on the outside.
When trying to discern where you're supposed to be in the body of Christ and who you're supposed to serve, I would say that you need those people. Like I needed Taylor, because special needs ministry was something that I hadn't given a ton of thought about. Like I thought student ministry was going to be my thing, but Taylor just kind of affirmed that calling.
Right away, I could sense his passion and compassion for this community and the people who are in it. And it just made me really excited for the future of the ministry. I believe like the Lord called me to it, he's calling Scott to it. And he's equipping Scott, and he's given him a passion to serve in it.
It's been like a God-ordained thing in my life for him placing people like Greg to disciple me and walk alongside me and speak life into me.
The coolest thing that I've seen is Scott was on the student team, and when he left the student team, he didn't stop being a part of our family. It didn't change the way that we care for him or love him, but now it's exciting to see the ways that he's connecting with Greg, who's kind of like his mentor now, is especially cool. Whether it's the handshakes that they have or the jokes, the inside jokes they have, I think it's really cool to see Scott's joy for that ministry, but also how much he's learning from Greg.
Disciples making disciples making disciples is the mantra we've heard at Woodside in the past, and it's not going to end at Scott. He's grown spiritually, he's grown in his commitment, and he's really grown leaps and bounds in the last year, discipling the people in our ministry.
It's almost as if God has put them on this earth to encourage people and to love people and to share their joy with people. The reality is that like 2 in 10 churches have a special needs ministry. There's a lot of families that we have the opportunity to minister to that have been told time after time that, hey, we don't have a place for your kid. That's heartbreaking. I'm just really grateful that here at Woodside, it's a beacon of hope for families that often feel like they're left out of everything. We have the opportunity to support those families and love them the way that Christ loves them.